So I'm going to give a little bit of Hmong history. The Hmong were recruited by the CIA in 1961 and fought in a covert war in Laos called the Secret War, which was to actually take out all of the logistics routes during the Vietnam War. These coins are French Indo-Chinese coins. In order for the Hmong to show representation that they've gained independence from the France in the French Indo-Chinese War, they decided to put the coins and sew it right into their clothes of that pride and that recognition that we are now independent from France. A funny Hmong superstition growing up as a child, every household hears this, is that when you see the moon, you don't point at it because at night your ear will be cut. So it's a superstition that the elders have engraved into children's minds growing up. So every time they say, oh my God, Daddy, look at the moon, their father will usually say, don't point at the moon, I might cut your ear. Every time we plan events, if it's at afternoon, we plan for 2 p.m. because we know those cousins are just gonna come late. Who has that in their culture? All right, what do you guys call it? What do you call it? Asian time. Mexican time? A big culture in the Southeast Asian community is that if you are digging a performance and you like it, it's common for people to come up here and give $1 or $2. If you're feeling generous, maybe you might even go for $20 and $50. I wish they'd give the MC some money too. I'd appreciate that. $20 bills only, please. In the Hmong culture, you can't cross over someone if they're lying down. And as kids, this was taught inside of our childhood that if you cross someone, then they're gonna continue being short. And I was crossed over a lot of times. That's probably why I'm short and I'm 5'5", right?
Let's talk about something else. If you notice that the previous group and this group, they have a Hmong hat. And if you look at the Hmong hat, it looks like a rooster hat. Oh my gosh, good job. It looks like a rooster comb, right? It looks like a rooster's comb. And one of the reasons why is because in the Hmong culture, we value the rooster. The reason why the Hmong people value the chicken or the rooster is because we believe that each one of us have a soul that accompanies us. Every once in a while, if we are placed in situations where we are afraid, like a car accident, or maybe we got scared from something, then our soul will temporarily leave our bodies. And so we have to go, and then we have to call the spirit to come back and return to its body. But sometimes we calling the spirit back won't work. So we need the help of a rooster. What is the only animal in the entire world that can call up the sun? And that is why. In the Hmong culture, we believe that if one day all the chickens disappear from the world, then the very next day the sun will refuse to rise. Because as we all know, every morning before the sun rises, roosters will crow. And the day a rooster no longer crows is the day where we will be met with darkness. And because we believe that the rooster or the chicken is the only animal that can call up the sun, the only animal that is strong enough to call up the sun, then it can surely call back your spirit. And therefore, this hat symbolizes the comb of a rooster. So, that's a little piece of Hmong culture that we rarely learn about. And sadly, a lot of our Hmong children have forgotten their roots. And sometimes, like me, when they hear that, why do I want to dress like a chicken? That, that's what you call people that are not, strong. But after hearing my parents share that with me, then we begin to see why. A rooster comb is used as a hat to signify the importance and value of a chicken. So don't ever underestimate the strength and the power of the chicken. I want you to realize that this thing, okay? Earlier, our MC had mentioned that it was used in a lot of things, but it's predominantly used at funerals. Yeah. There were 6 brothers, and they all had their own amount of powers. and each one of them had their own abilities, and they would try to send the spirit back into the spirit world, and they were unsuccessful. So the 6 brothers gathered their instruments and they put it together and they secured it into this. And in the funerals, the Hmong funerals, the Ting instrument is the only tool that can open a portal into the spirit world so that they can send the spirit of the deceased back to its place of origination. See, all Thanos had to do was he didn't have to travel around the universe. He just had to talk to Jet and borrow his thing in order to open portals.